Well, I took my sweet time with this one, but here we go, how to mic up everything. A quick disclaimer, since I don't have most of the instruments at hand, this is going to be a primarily theoretical episode. Audio Technica did a bunch of demos for their mics on most of these instruments, so I'll link these videos down below as a substitute. They'll illustrate the following. I will tell you how to develop miking techniques for every instrument on your own. First off, there are two kinds of sources, directional and non-directional. Directional sources such as vocals, most wind instruments and speakers emit sound from a single point and to the direction the cone is pointed at. Non-directional sources emit sound from the entire surface and to every direction. This is the case in percussions and every type of stringed acoustic instruments such as guitars, violins or pianos. Every directional source is non-directional to some extent and vice versa. Bodies of stringed instruments have sound holes which act like a cone. For example, a saxophone will give you sound from the surface and so on. For the beginning, you need to determine which category fits the instrument you'd like to record. As a rule of thumb, does the tone change drastically upon rotation of mic or instrument, then it's directional. Directional sources are the easiest to record since the process is quite straightforward. Just point the mic at the area where the sound comes from. Choose the distance according to the mic you're using and the loudness of your instrument. In most cases this will be around 10 to 60 centimeters. Condenser mics feature a thing called proximity effect that needs to be taken into account. This means the closer you get to your source, the more the bass frequencies will be boosted. The tone will be the brightest right at the center of the cone. To darken your tone, you need to shift the mic slightly off center. To further color the tone, the mic might be shifted off axis up to 45 degrees. The brighter the tone, the more the instrument will poke through your mix. So you need to decide which instrument will be featured prominently in your mix and which one is designed to go to the background. This will save you a ton of EQing grief later on. To further enhance the recording, a room or overhead mic might be added. This is useful to capture resonances from the surface of the instrument, also room resonances. When blended, both tracks will provide a more natural and more lively tone, and by adding more room, the instrument will be pushed to the back of the mix. To find the right spot for this, just shift the mic around until it sounds well. I'll usually point the mic at the middle of the instrument, roughly the same distance as the main mic. Now, a non-directional source is a little bit more tricky, mainly for the reason that it won't sound the same in every spot. Usually such a source is given an impulse which it's resonating upon, with variations around the body. When positioned closer to the initial impulse, the mic will capture more attack and presence and definition for the track. Distances can be handled just like before, with the slight difference that pulling away the mic will probably result in capturing more body as opposed to just less brightness. To find the sweet spot for attack, point the mic at the area where the impulse happens. This might be a pick hitting strings, a bow exciting violin strings, the hammer hitting piano strings, a drumstick hitting the batter head and so on. Then determine the distance to bring in enough body and room. Finish it off with shifting the mic slightly to all directions to find the best sounding spot. Same thing basically applies to resonant parts. Do the same thing anywhere around the instrument until it sounds thick and warm but not boomy. A little word of warning though, don't ever point your mic at the sound hole of any stringed acoustic instrument. The sound hole directs low frequency and sounds boomy AF. Last but not least, there is the ensemble. An ensemble is a group of single instruments recorded as a whole. The recording usually consists of closed mics for every source, following the principles discussed in this video, and overhead and room mics to capture a greater picture. For the normal recording routine, this approach usually applies to drum sets alone, since most instruments are recorded by themselves. It may be used to capture a full band though. Ensemble recording is a science for itself, since room size and signal phase need to be considered. Fortunately, there are loads of videos to research on, otherwise we will get there. This is it for today. Next time we will be talking about microphones themselves.